Okay, I'm going to run through just a little bit of background or follow through because I'd love to be able to look at all of the Magnificent Sevens, hold them in my hand, and have a little explanation, discussion back and forth with you guys in a standard critique, but just to make sure we can follow Alondra's lead and have a wonderful PowerPoint that connects. This is all about space, and as I was thinking about this assignment, I'm Taurus, but I saw this wood block print that's hand-colored, watercolored, and it's in the chapter on space, the devices to show depth, and it kind of locked me into Pisces. In this particular piece, one fish kite is very large, and it seems quite close. It is cropped. It's not a driver's license style photo. By contrast, the other smaller kites and the tiny figures down here in the city in the background, we know how big people are, we know how big buildings are, but they're far in the distance, and it says that there are two advantages to this. First, seeing a kite drawn larger than the human figures automatically forces us to imagine that great distance involved. So it really pushes that form and gets into the mind of the viewer. Second, the very contrast of the large and the tiny elements creates a dynamic visual pattern. So I like that. Plus, I also like the Charles Demuth piece here, which had the traditional wonderful use of watercolor, wonderful use of limited color, and overlap, page placement with down is bigger, up is further back. Just fantastic. Let me pick this up. It's made in the shade on the patio, but we're blowing around. Here's, and then back to Pisces. Pisces, I'm Taurus. Mrs. Leonard is Pisces. Here's like a window, and that's the window that we stopped having normal school, so I thought it might fit. Greek origins, there it's usually a pair, but it's been many other cultures and times it's been a single. So I was happy with my doubles. I did a double, I call that number one. I did a double with linear networks with watercolor brushwork over the top, kind of loose. Number two, got a house on each side to really emphasize the fact that they might be swimming in water or floating like kites. This one is number four, because this guy's number three, 4. I'm ranking them. 5. This one started just with a watercolor drawing, no pencil, no ink, no nothing. 6 was an ink drawing, a double, and I don't know if that's, I'm going to say that's my exploded, because I'm going to use this as my crop with one koi fish that comes through, mouth, eyes, tendrils. It was getting real dark, so I did spray with enamel and a store-bought stencil over the top. I think it gives it a very Eastern feel. I'm kind of meh on that one, but you can't always have what you want. I did assemble a B team of 6. They don't fit necessarily, but I think with the ink and just getting in and getting out, like I was really happy with this one when it was red, and then I expanded the color palette. But I enjoyed this, but I did find it a bit of a challenge to do it in a school type setting. Oops, flip you guys over, because there's a couple of areas on the connection I want to make. One is emphasis by placement. Emphasis by contrast makes a lot of sense to me. Emphasis by placement. I put a house here. The fish is going this way. It really is all about his face. But look at this Vermeer. It's all about this placement that's not dead center. Where with the apple right here from the Renaissance, Lucas Cranach the Elder, that's Adam and Eve. Look at their apple. It is right in the middle. So this is a pretty much symmetrically balanced composition painting. This one's asymmetrical. This one's asymmetrical. It may not be balanced, but I found out something. If you can see that face bringing you back this way, and that's a very dark, if I put it out in the sun, it might be easier to see. That's a very dark and contrasty, so that grabs a lot of weight. The fact that she looks back, I found here on balance, this one right here, which talks about continuation. All the action's over here, or is it? Because the book says, at first glance, the Annunciation fresco by Father Angelico seems heavily weighted on the left side of the composition, but this imbalance is offset by subtle eye direction. We connect the figures through the line of their gaze and the arches sweeping across the top of the painting, so we've got continuation. So it doesn't have to be perfectly balanced. Balance is the feeling of stability, and this is connected to Picasso, and it's quite a bit more dramatic in a different sense. Look, if I take this out, there's a house. There's nothing there. But if we put this little girl back in there and we have her looking back to the left, I think it works to help balance the composition. And I kind of went with my gut, but the book helped substantiate that what I was doing was perhaps good design. All right, over and out.